Hello, mortals! I am the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. Last year, I participated in the Reindeer Readathon, sponsored by Eric of Break Even Books. And of course, this year I wanted to participate as well. Basically, there's a whole bunch of prompts with points, and you are assigned a team. And then you collect points for your team based on the prompts you do. And so it's a fun little contest. I'll link the video below with all the rules and how to participate and who the team captains are. It just so happens that this year I am Team Nutcracker, and we're going to crack some nuts. And my team leader is Steph from Coffee Over Apples, and I've done several tag videos with her, so I'm very excited to be part of this team. Now, if you've seen my Shelve It or Shove It for December, you know that one of the reasons why I picked 3 books was to use them for some of these prompts. Now, if you don't know me, I'm not that voracious of a reader like some other booktubers I could mention. So I'm probably not going to do that many more than those 3 books, but I am going to add on an audiobook to make it a nice round 4. So let me go over the books I picked for this readathon and see how many points I'm going to rack up for my team Nutcrackers. So the first prompt I picked was Dancer worth 15 points, a book by one of your favorite authors. Well, everyone knows I love Marissa Meyer. I think she is one of the top young adult writers out there today in terms of plot structure, in terms of character development, in terms of storytelling. Her writing isn't all that flowery or literary, but she is a solid writer. And I found out that Gilded is a new book based on the Rumpelstiltskin fairy tale. And this is her first foray that I know of into traditional fantasy. Before, for Cinder was science fiction, and then her Renegade series was comic book, and now we're going to traditional fantasy. And I can't wait to start Gilded. Basically, it's about a young woman who tells tall tales and gets the attention of the Earl King and his, I guess he has undead legions, and he hears that she can spin gold, and of course she can't, but he hears about it, so captures her, and then she summons some sort of entity that might be able to help. So we're getting big Rumpelstiltskin retelling, but of course this is young adult and this is Marissa Meyer, so she could fall in love with Rumpelstiltskin. That's all I'm saying. That's all I know. Don't hate me. Next prompt is Vixen, a book that has recently caught your eye. Well, this one was easy. It's Leviathan Falls by James S.A. Corey. This is the next book in the Expanse series, and it is the last book. So of course I have to read it. If you don't know, James S.A. Corey is a pseudonym for co-writers Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank. Frank was the assistant to George R.R. Martin, so they are in good hands. This may be my favorite science fiction series of recent years. Yes, I think it does beat out Red Rising. Don't hate me, but I think it's better than Red Rising. And if you haven't read this series, you should definitely start with book 1, Leviathan Wakes. And then I guess now he falls in the last book, which is book 7. But it's about an alien artifact that shows up in the outer part of the solar system where humans have colonized the outer belt, and they're trying to colonize Mars. And there's all sorts of political factions, but it starts small with a detective who uncovers or investigates a woman who may have come in contact with this artifact, and bad things happen. But as the books progress, the story starts getting bigger and bigger, starts expanding and expanding, thus the expanse, until it expands to the point where existence itself as we know it may be in question. I can't tell you how excited I am to read the conclusion, and yes, there is an Amazon Prime series that started on the Sci-Fi Network that is, I think, a really good science fiction series, and has thus far been fairly faithful to the books. Next prompt is Cupid, worth 25 points. Take a shot at reading a new author. Well, I've always wanted to read NUTCRACKERS. I've heard so much about this person, and I saw the new release Noor in Shelf It or Shove It, so I immediately picked it up, and I'm going to use it for this prompt. This is going to be my first time reading this author. I'm very excited because I've heard so much about him. The story is set in Nigeria about a woman. She goes by the name A.O. It means she was born with a name that those initials made sense with, but she calls herself Artificial Organism. She's apparently been ostracized all her life, and I believe there was an accident where I believe her physical form was even more altered, and then she meets up with a person named DNA, and then they team up in some sort of, I don't know, Mad Max meets Survivor streaming program. All I know is that it sounds very cool, and I am very excited to read something by NUTCRACKERS. And you may have heard that I wanted to do an audiobook because there is one that I definitely want to pick up since I've heard about it from Ashley of the Bookish Realm. And I'm going to fit it under the prompt Donner because there is red in the color, so that's worth 20 points. It is a good girl's guide to murder by Holly Jackson. And the reason why I really wanted to pick up the audio version is because they have done an audio version like a radio play. There are dozens of voice actors, there are special effects, sound effects, all types of things going on. And I listened to a small little snippet, and once I heard that, I was hooked. Even though I like The Ivies by Alexa Dunn, it's not something I read very often, but to hear it as a radio play, yes, please. I'm honestly not really sure what it's about, except I thought it was a young girl investigating the death of her friend, although from the title, maybe the main character is a killer? I don't think so, though. Anyway, it sounds great, so can't wait to get into it. Okay, let me go over the points because there are some bonus points that you can add on, and I'm going to try to hit all three. First, I'm going to do Gilded by Marissa Meyer. The Dancer Prompt, 15 points. Leviathan Falls by James S.A. Corey. The Vixen Prompt, because it caught my eye and because I've been waiting for it, 20 points, so we're up to 35 points. Now, since Leviathan is over 500 pages, I can use that as Christmas Star, which is another 25 points, so that brings us to 60 points. Then we're going to do a Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. The Donner Prompt, because there's red in the cover, I'm sure. Anyway, 20 points brings us to 80, and this is an audiobook, so it does the Christmas Carol bonus, which is 15 points. I'm up to 95. Then I'm doing Noor by NUTCRACKERS. The Cupid Prompt, new author, 25 points brings me to 120. And of course, since I read all ebooks, but we'll put ebook here, Christmas Lights is a bonus of 15 points for reading an ebook. That brings us to 135 points for the NUTCRACKERS. Let me know in the comments if you're participating in the Reindeer Readathon. If so, what team are you on? If you're not on the NUTCRACKERS, watch out because we're gonna crack a few nuts. Also, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed. Oh, and happy holidays!